because it wasn't film anymore. It was all digital. And then I realized, well, who cares if you take a picture, because who's going to see it? So now you got to learn social media. And maybe they won't see it on social media. You need a YouTube channel. So you better learn video editing, and all those techniques. So it's a lot. There is a lot to learn, but you know, it's been a pretty cool, it's been a very good journey. That's what it's been. A very good journey.
Agree. And one thing to add to the lighting subject is the first channel I had, everything was shot on my iPhone. You know, and you specifically, you David, you know how much of your time I took on cameras, and I still end up not buying it.
I know.
I was using my cell phone the whole time, and it worked. I got almost 5K subs. But this time around, actually, currently I'm using the GoPro. GoPro 9 Hero to stream this, and I'm using that for the videos as well. I'm happy, honestly, with it, but definitely need more professionalism down the road. That's for sure. David,
I'm streaming with my GoPro as well right now, and I think it looks fine. And a lot of the video on my channel that I do, not the video I do for my clients, but the video on my channel, is a lot of it's shot on a GoPro. I think GoPros are great. At the end of the day, I think it's the content that you're providing. As long as you have fairly decent audio, fairly decent video, and you tell a good story, people will watch your videos.
This is so true.
Just keep that in mind. It's what's the content that I'm providing for people? What am I delivering something to them that's of value? I think that's what's important.
So true. That's a great point. Just to wrap up this topic, David, any quick tips for our viewers that will make a fast difference in their craft as far as photography or videography goes? Any fast, quick tips that might help them out?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple really quick, quick tips. Things that I've learned. Number one, get an ND filter. So a variable ND filter. So a variable ND filter is basically like sunglasses for your camera. A variable one you can adjust as you turn to make it either darker or lighter your image. And if you want great smooth photos of water, if you want to shoot in harsher light, if you're shooting video and you have to keep your frame rate the same, an ND filter is so valuable. That should be, once you get a camera, ND filter. And then what I would suggest on the ND filter is buy one that will fit your largest lens, and get step rings that will adjust it down to smaller diameter lenses. But I would say ND filter is a must.
ND filter. And how do you spell that word?
It's just ND, capital N, capital D. Yeah, it stands for neutral density, is what it stands for.
Gotcha. And are you using that filter for the GoPro lens, or it's just the lens that comes with it?
No. This is just a lens that comes with it. I've never used an ND filter for the GoPro, but you can if that's going to be your main camera. My ND filters, because I started with a DSLR camera, my ND filters I purchased have all been for the lenses on my camera, on my DSLR, not on my GoPro. So I didn't want to spend the extra money because, of course, budget. I didn't want to spend the extra money on a filter for the GoPro. I really needed it for the professional end of my work and for client work. So it's all my ND filters are for that.
That's awesome.
And then the other tip that I would say is shoot everything. Shoot everything. Don't leave your camera in the bag. Get it out, carry it, get a good strap. My wife just gave me I want to say it's a Polar Pro camera strap. I love that camera strap. It is so comfortable. So now my camera is always on me everywhere I go. Shoot everything. Even if it's, wow, that piece of paper sitting on the sidewalk looks way cool and interesting to me. Shoot everything, because it's going to take you, at least 90% of the photos you take may be trash, but that 10% could be gold for you. So I would shoot everything.
That's awesome. And that example of the shooting the paper, I've noticed random objects shot in a close up shot are really really interesting because they're like unique shots. No one ever goes down to the ground and looks at that object from that angle. You know, so when you do it with the camera, it really catches someone's attention. That's a really really good
Yeah,
example.
and you never know what other people are going to find interesting. The worst case scenario is that you took some photos and you realize your settings were wrong, but that's okay if that photo looks terrible because your settings are wrong, because now you have that information to carry with you that, okay, these settings don't work in this situation. So you
That's
use it
awesome.
as a learning experience and then you move on. Yeah, when I started, I was still in the film mentality where every frame counted because you're using film, and I was taking very few photos. And
Mm.
and now, just that this last photo shoot I did for the t-shirt company, I shot 400 photos, and I think I
Whoa.
ended up with 20 really good ones.
Uh-huh.
But because of that, because you never know if someone's going to keep their eyes open or closed, if they'll look the right way, the wind blew wrong, the exposure isn't quite right. I shoot for days and then I look for the gold out of that.
That's amazing. Our amazing viewers, if you guys didn't catch on to that, David just gave another tip just casually like that. Take a lot of pictures because for the reasons he just mentioned, for those reasons you're gonna need it. That's a professional tip that I know this because I can relate. That comes from David's experience. He experienced it, he learned, he adapted. And if you can learn without doing any mistakes, hey, even more kudos to you. So that's why we bring a lot of smart individuals in their crafts so we can all help them to bring more attention to their craft and at the same time get knowledge from them. It's a give and take, two-way street.